watch this video till end, because in this video I will share some amazing snapshot techniques by which you can find at which age you could meet your future spouse, or at which age you could have relationship, your boyfriend, girlfriend. You can see on the screen, first of all, for this technique, I don't care which ascendant you have, I don't care which dashas you are running. Okay, I just want to tell you something. Like here I will share some principles step by step. You have to watch all the principle, apply step by step. At least one principle you will find correct in your case. Okay, so now let's get started. First of all, you can be any ascendant, right? You can be any ascendant from Aries to Pisces, any ascendant, right? Understanding this concept, I want to tell you something, that from your ascendant, whichever ascendant you are, whether you are any ascendant, what I want you to understand this phenomena in this way, that your ascendant is the first year of your life. First, you are born and you will have from, let's say you're born today, so from today till the next year, this is the first year of your life. Okay, then this is the second year of your life. Okay, let me actually write it there. I will share some important principle about that after this. And see, Ketu is also confirming, dog is barking, so we can understand that yes, this is really amazing concept. So let's say we use orange color, and let's say for an example that we have first house has the age, or let me just write it here for understanding better, so that you can understand better. Probably let's take black color. So first house has the age 1, second house has the age 2, third house has the age 3, fourth house has the age 4, fifth house has the age 5, sixth house has the age 6, seventh house has the age 7, eighth house has the age 8, ninth house means age 9, 10th house means age 10, 11th house means age 11, 12th house means age 12. Let me just rub it and make it clear for you so that you can understand easily. Okay, so now as you can see on the screen, we have this chart. I have created this chart for you to make things simplified, right? I cleared everything up. Now you can simply see this age with this chart. You do not need to get worried. I'm just now going to give you some examples so that you can understand. Otherwise you just keep calculating, keep asking. Now let me tell you, first of all, this is your lagna, whichever lagna you are. Lagna is always there. We start counting from here to anti-clockwise, right? So let's just take an example. Let's say for an example, first let me tell you the first principle. The first principle is this, that you have to look wherever Venus is placed in your chart. It doesn't even matter if you are a boy or a girl, just look the placement of Venus. So हमारा point number 1 है. First point number 1 is look at the placement of Venus in your chart, right? Venus, right? Let me write it with the pink. Venus for Venus. Okay, so we will look at the Venus first of all. So what you can see is, look at the Venus. So let's say, let me take any chart example. Let's say for an example we take Gemini ascendant. So let's say you are any ascendant, and let's say you are a Gemini ascendant. So you have 3, 4 here, okay, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? 12, 1 and 2 here. So this is a chart of a Gemini ascendant. And let's say for a Gemini ascendant, Venus is placed over here in the second house. Okay, so if now we calculate with our method, as I told you, second house has which ages? Second year, 14 year, 26 year, 38 year, 50 year, 62 and 74th year. Now of course you can calculate more ages, but I don't think after this age, even in 70s, 80s, some people could have in in rare cases, but generally people don't have relationship at that age. But still I just write it down, so now it's easy for you. So if we see, if let's say you have Venus in the second house, okay, it doesn't even matter actually which ascendant you are. You just have to look at the house in which you have Venus. So this is the second house. This is a Gemini ascendant, but this is a second house. And even if it's like any other ascendant, if you have Venus in the second house, so you just look at like this age. So obviously when a person is 2-year-old, he will not have relationship. That's obvious. Now when it comes to second age is 14-year-old, you can see over here 14 year, right? So when a person will turn 14 year of age, he or she could have a relationship. So for this person who have Venus in the second house, there could be chances that you could have your first encounter with your boyfriend or girlfriend or anyone when you were 14. Okay, if you do not have it, then probably the next age is 26. Now it is obvious. Let's say you live in countries, Asian countries, or probably like India, etc., where tradition are followed, or maybe Middle East, etc., then 14 might not be the age for you, of course. But if you live in Western countries where nowadays relationship can be at any age, so there's a good possibility that you could even have the relationship at 14. But then this age comes 26. If you have Venus in the second house, then 26 could be the next age when you turn 26, when you will be 26-year-old. So that is when around that time you will find someone, you will have a relationship. And then you will have around 38-year-old, then you will have around 58-year-old. But do not worry, this is not only the principle. I will share more principles now. So if you are not able to find, or this is not matching with your past relationship, let's say you do not have relationship, you have Venus in the second house and these ages are not matching. You do not have relationship at 14, you do not have relationship at 26, you do not have relationship at 38, you do not have at 40 for an example, at 50 for an example. Don't worry, I will share more principles. There are more principles, but first let me take more examples of this. So yeah, this is how it works. So now let's say for an example, let me just tell you just a second. So let's say for an example, it doesn't even matter which ascendant you are. Let's say for your chart, whichever ascendant you are, always take ascendant here. So let's say your Venus is placed anyhow, like for an example in 8th house. Here you have Venus. This is the 8th house. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 8th house. This is 9. This is 10. This is 11. This is 12. So this one is the 8th house. So you have Venus in the 8th house. So we will look at this particular thing. Venus in the 8th house. Okay. So these are the ages where you are most likely will have a relationship. So when you turn 20, because of course at 8, it is almost impossible that you could have someone. Although like for some people it could be childhood love or something can be possible, you never know. But still, like most likely when you turn 20, that is when this Venus get activated. And yes, you can see it for any gender, whether you like a boy, whether you like a girl, whether you like anyone, you just have to see Venus in this principle. Okay, so at the age of 20, you could have your first encounter, first relationship with someone or the love affair. At the 32 age, you could have your again love affair. At 44, you could have again. At 56, you could have again. At 68, you could have again. At 80, you could have again. So these are the activation ages if you have Venus here in the 8th house, right? So I hope you understand. Now again, if you are not able to find, let's say you have relationship in the past, but it was not in these ages like 20, 32, 44, 56, 68, 80, but you have Venus in the 8th house. So do not worry. I will share more principle, okay, because it is just a first principle. Now in the similar way, I want each of you to match this principle, right? And then write in the comment that yes, it is matching for you. Let's say for an example, you have your first relationship when you were 17-year-old. Let me just give you an example. You have your first relationship when you were 17 years old. And let's say for an example, you have Venus into the 5th house. So if we count, you can clearly see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you can see over here when Venus is in the 5th house, so you could have your first relationship at the age of 5 of course not possible, 17, 29. So 17 is matching. So probably you meet your partner when you are around 17 year of your age, first time you could have your first encounter, love affair or kiss or romance or whatever. that could be possible, or some serious relationship. Now this could also be marriage, right? For some of you, like for an example, you have Venus in the 5th house, so at the age of 29 you could get married to someone. That could also possible, right? Then let's take more example. Let's say any example, let's say Venus in the 12th house. So you could meet someone at the age of 12, at the age of 24, at the age of 36. So let's say you get married to someone at the age of 24 and you have Venus in the 12th house. So yes, this is matching. Let's say you fall in love with a girl or a boy when at the age of 24. So yes, it's matching. Let's say you fall in love with a boy or a girl or a woman at the age of 48. So this is again matching. So that is how you have to see energies of like this, all the charts you have to check, right? You can see over here all the charts, right? All the houses. Now connect it with your chart and then let me know, okay, how it is matching with your kundali, right? I want you guys to tell me. This is the first principle. Now we will move to second principle. If you are not able to match, let's say for an example, you have Venus in the 6th house, right? I can take any example. Now I think it's easy for you. You just have to see your Venus placement. Let's say Venus in the 6th house. You see the 6th house related ages, that okay, when you were 18 you find your first boy or girl, okay, when you were 30 probably you find your first relationship or you get married or anything. So if it's working, that's fine. If it's not working, then let me tell you another method, okay? So you do not need to get worried. Don't think that, oh, it's not working. No, it will work. So this is our first way. So for each of you, in which house, from 1st house to 12th house, any house you have Venus, look at your Venus placement. If you have in the 10th house, in front of 10th house, ages are written 10 years, 22 year, 34 year, 46 year. So probably you could meet your partner at the age of, let's say 22 or 34 or 46 if you have Venus in the 10th house. Let's say you have Venus in the 10th house, your first relationship could be at the age of 22, your second relationship could be as 34, or probably you have first relationship at 22 but you get married at 34 to someone else. That could also possible, okay? So this is our first principle. Now let's talk about our second principle. For the second principle, I'm writing here second. For the second principle, look at sign of Libra. Libra. You know what Libra sign means? Libra sign means 7 number. Okay. Wherever sign of Libra is in your chart, at that, whichever house it is, at that age you are most likely to find someone or you will have relationship or marriage. This is our second principle. First principle is related to Venus. Second principle is related to sign of Libra. So we have discussed the Venus principle. Now let's discuss sign of Libra principle. Okay, so let me just give you example of this. Let's say for an example, so Libra sign is 7 number sign. I hope you understand. Now it varies as per your ascendant. For an example, you are a Gemini ascendant again this time. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So here is the sign of Libra in the 5th house. So for a Gemini ascendant, sign of Libra will fall into the 5th house. Okay, right? So sign of Libra is in the 5th house for a Gemini ascendant. So if you are a Gemini ascendant, sign of Libra is falling in your 5th house and we have to see sign of Libra. So we can see that if sign of Libra is falling into the 5th house, which means 7 number is falling into the 5th house. So we have to see simply ages of 5th house. So if you are a Gemini ascendant, as per this principle, you can get married or you can find your relationship at the age of 17. Probably you like someone at the age of 17, or at the age of 29, probably you like someone or you get married, or your first relationship could be age of 29 or you get married at 29, or at 41, or at 53, or at 65, or at 77. So these are the ages for you if you are a Gemini ascendant, because for you Libra will fall in the 5th house. Now in the similar way, you have to see as per your ascendant. Now if let's say this principle is not matching again, like for an example, for you the Venus is also wrong, you have relationship at some other age, as per the Venus it's not correct, and now this second sign, Libra sign placement, house age is also wrong, then no problem, I will have more principle. I'm going to tell you, I will share all the principles, at least few, and at least one principle will match. Okay, you will see that how miraculous this is. This is the simplest thing to find, like to get some idea. Okay, so yeah, let's say for an example, Let me take Pisces ascendant for an example. If you are Pisces, right, then 1, right, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so you will have Libra in the 7th house, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you are a Pisces ascendant, Libra will fall in your 7th house. In 8th house. This is 8th house. So for Pisces ascendant, Libra will fall in the 8th house. So if you are a Pisces ascendant, you are most likely to attract relationship at the age of 20, 32, 44, 56, 68 or 80. So most probably, whether you like someone, and let's say for an example, you are a Pisces ascendant and your Libra is falling in your 8th house. For all Pisces, Libra will fall in the 8th house. So you may met your first boyfriend, girlfriend or relationship at the age of 20. But probably you may get married to them in 32, or you may, some of you even get married to that person in the same age, or probably some of you get break up later, but you find your second relationship or marriage at the age of 32. That could also be possible. Now for some of you, it could also possible that this principle will also not work again. So I will share more principle later in this video. Don't worry, at least one will work for you. Okay, but for those who's like, for whom this principle is working, write in the comment that yes, you are right, I met my partner at this age. So let's take another ascendant as well, so that I can just try to explain probably for each ascendant. So let's say for an example, we have taken Pisces, we have taken Gemini. Let's take Aquarius. So for Aquarius, let's say for Aquarius, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so for you, sign of Libra fall into the 9th house. So if you are an Aquarius ascendant, these are the ages: 9, 21, 33, 45, 57, 69, 81. So you could meet your spouse at 21-year age, or like girlfriend, your first relationship could be at 21, 33, 45, or like your relationship could be at these ages, or marriage. Okay, now let's talk about other ascendant as well. So let's say for an example, you are a which ascendant? Probably any ascendant. Let's say you are a Aries ascendant. So of course for you, Libra fall into the 7th house for Aries ascendant. So for 7th house, 19, 31, 43, 55, these ages will be there when you can get married to someone or find someone. So in the similar way, you have to just find for you. Let's say you are a Leo ascendant. So for you, Libra fall into the 3rd house. Okay, for Leo ascendant, Libra fall into the 3rd house. For Virgo ascendant, Libra fall into the 2nd house. So you just have to see that, right? If you are a Leo ascendant, Libra is falling into the 3rd house for you. So you can see the 3rd house. These are the ages for Leo ascendant: 15, 27, 39, 51, 63. So probably you like a girl in the school or a boy in the school whom with you have your first kiss or relationship at the age of 15. But probably at the age of 27, you may like your another relationship or get married. Probably that could be possible. So that's how these things work. Okay. So yeah, in that way you just find it for your ascendant, right? Even if let's say you are a Scorpio, so Libra will fall in your 12th house. So for 12th house, you can see ages 12, 24, 36, 48. These are the ages where you could probably meet your partner or spouse, right? So yeah, so this is our next principle. So I hope it get clear to you. I think many of you found it very accurate till now, but if let's say some of you feel like no, it is not working for me, so don't worry, I will share more principle, because I know that for some chart this principle work, for some chart other principle work. There are many principles, but today I'm only going to share a few. So these are 2. Now let's talk about our 3rd principle. The 3rd principle say, for those of you who are not able to find your exact relationship age matching as per Venus placement or the sign of Libra sign placement, like the 1st and 2 principle. So the 3rd principle is, you have to see 7th house away from your 7th lord. Okay, this is the 3rd principle, that you have to find 7th house away from your 7th lord, right? So how you can do that? Let me just give you an example. Let's say you are a Gemini ascendant again, right? For a Gemini ascendant, 7th lord will become sign of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, because for Gemini ascendant, you will have sign of Sagittarius 9 number in your 7th house. Now whichever ascendant you are, you just have to look which planets are placed in your, which sign or which number is written in your 7th house. Okay, now you have to look where your 7th lord is placed. So let's say you are a Gemini ascendant, so you will have 9 number in your 7th house. So your 7th lord become Jupiter. Now you have to see where Jupiter is placed in your chart. So let's say you have Jupiter here in the 6th house. You have Jupiter in the 6th house. Now what you have to do, you have to look 7 places away from this Jupiter, which is directly opposite. So 7 places away from Jupiter become 12th house. This house, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see now you have to see 12th house related years. So 12th house related years are 12 year, 24 year, 36 year, 48 year, 60 year, 70 to 84. So probably you like a girl at the age of 24 at your college. Probably you get married to a girl at the age of 24. Probably you get married to a girl at the age of 36. Probably you will have relationship at these ages. So yeah, this is the next third principle that will apply on your chart. Okay, let me give you more example of this one so that it will be clear to all of you. So let's say for an example, you are an Aries ascendant. So for Aries, 7th house will have the sign of Libra. So you have now Libra ruler is Venus. So let's say Venus is placed in any house. Let's say Venus is placed in the 5th house for an example here. Now you have to look 7 houses away from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th house is the 11th house away from the Venus. So you, in that case, you have to see simply 11th house. So 11th house has the ages this 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71. So these are the ages where you are going to have relationship or you are going to have marriage with someone. So yeah, this is how it works. So you can take example of any ascendant. Okay. And also I would like to tell you, you could have different placements. I'm just telling you, right? Any chart you will have. So let's say for an example, if I would like to tell you in a simple way, no matter which ascendant you are, let's say your 7th lord can be any planet. Okay. So let's say your 7th lord, like I think I'm expecting you to know your 7th lord. If you are an Aries ascendant, your 7th lord will be Venus. If you are a Taurus ascendant, your 7th lord will be Mars. If you are a Gemini ascendant, your 7th lord will be Jupiter. If you are a Virgo ascendant, your 7th lord will again be a Jupiter. Okay. If you are a Cancer ascendant, your 7th lord will be Saturn. If you are a Leo ascendant, your 7th lord will again be Saturn. If you are a Virgo ascendant, your 7th lord again be a Jupiter. If you are a Libra ascendant, your 7th lord will be a Mars. If you are a Scorpio ascendant, your 7th lord will be Venus. If you are a Sagittarius ascendant, your 7th lord will be Mercury. If you are in Capricorn ascendant, your 7th lord will be Moon. If you are Aquarius ascendant, your 7th lord will be Sun. If you are Pisces ascendant, your 7th lord will be Mercury. And again, if you are Aries, your 7th lord will be Venus. So I hope it's easy for you now. Now simply see your 7th lord. So instead of writing planet, I am writing 7th lord. If let's say your 7th lord is placed in the 2nd house, you just look at the 8th house. If 2nd lord is placed in the 3rd house, you just have to look at the 9th house. If 7th lord is placed in the 4th house, just look at the 10th house. If 7th lord is placed in the 5th house, look at the 11th. If 7th lord is placed in the 6th, look at the 12th. If 7th lord is placed in the 7th, look at the Lagna. If 7th lord is placed in the 8th, look at the 2nd house. If 7th lord is placed in the 9th, look at the 3rd house. If 7th lord is placed in the 10th, look at the 4th house. If 7th lord is placed in the 11th, look at the 5th house. If 7th lord is placed in the 12th, look at the 6th house. If 7th lord is placed in the Lagna, look at the 7th house. So it's simple. You just have to look 7 houses away from your 7th lord. So one last example. If 7th lord, let's say, is placed in your 9th house, your 7th lord is here, let's say any planet. So you just have to look 7 houses away, which will fall in the 3rd house. How? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3rd house. Now you have to simply see ages of 3rd house. So these are the ages where you can meet your spouse. Okay, 15, 27, 39, 51, or you could have relationship with someone in these ages. So this is our third principle. So I hope it is clear to you. I hope you guys can apply it as per your chart. Simply see whichever your 7th lord is as per your ascendant. see which house it is placed, and then count 7 houses away from that house, and you will find a house, and then see that house here, and then find the ages. So it's so simple. If 7th lord is placed, let's say in the 4th house, then look at the 7 houses away. So 7 houses away will be the 10th house, so we will see the 10th house. Okay, simple. If 7th lord is placed in the 12th house, then look 7 houses away, which will be 6th house, so we have to see the 6th house. This is our third principle. That's how you will find the ages. Now if let's say you are saying that, oh, I'm still not able to find the correct age, no, it's not matching with me. So now let me share the fourth principle. Yes, I'm going to share now. Yes, I am going to share now the fourth principle. So let me just tell you. So the fourth principle say, if these three principles are not working, like first principle was that look at where in which house Venus is placed, at that house age activation you will find someone. That was the first principle. That is not working in your chart. Then the second principle, look at in which house Libra sign is falling as per your ascendant, at that house age you will meet someone. If that is also not working, then the third principle say, look at where your 7th lord is placed, then look 7 houses away from your 7th lord. That house ages will tell you when will you meet your partner or spouse or girlfriend boyfriend relationship. If let's say these three principles are not working, then this is my fourth principle for you. In this case, now you have to look 7th house from Venus, right? So let's say Venus is placed in the first house here, so you have to look 7th house. So in that case, what will be the ages where you could find someone? 7th house ages 19, 31, 43, 55. If Venus is placed in the second house, you have to look at the 8th house. So what are the ages of 8th house? Ages of 8th house are these 8, like 8, 20, 32, 44, and so on and so forth. If Venus is in the third house, you just have to look at the 9th house and 9th house ages. If Venus is placed in the 4th house, you just look at the 10th house and 10th house ages. Okay, because 7th house is away is what falling, I'm telling you. If Venus is in the 5th house, you have to look at the 11th house and ages of 11th house. Here it is. If Venus is in the 6th house, you have to look at the 12th house and ages of the 12th house. If Venus is in the 7th house, you have to look at the 1st house, okay, and the ages of 1st house, right? Let me just clear it up so that I can make it easy. So if Venus is in the 7th house, you have to look at the 1st house and its ages. If Venus is in the 8th, look at the 2nd house and its ages. If Venus is in the 9th, look at the 3rd house, because directly opposite or 7 houses away will be these houses. If Venus is in the 10th house, look at the 4th house and its ages. If Venus is in the 11th house, look at the 5th house and its ages. If Venus is in the finally 12th house, you have to look at the 6th house and its ages. And again, Venus in the 1st house, look at the 7th house, its ages. So it's so simple, right? That's how you have to look. Now look at your chart, this principle. If the above three principles are not working, this is the fourth principle. Let's say Venus for your chart is placed into the 8th house for an example. So you have to see 7 houses away from this Venus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which will be simply 2nd house, right? 7 houses away from Venus is 2nd house. I have simplified for you, directly telling you which is 7 houses away from any placement. So if Venus is placed in the 8th house, you have to look at the 2nd house for this technique, because 2nd house is 7 houses away from the Venus. So if you have Venus in the 8th house, most probably you are going to meet your partner at the age of 14. Probably you could have love affair, or especially at the age of 26, right? Even you could get married at these ages, 26. Probably you get married at 26, but then at 38, you have another romantic encounter with someone. Then at 50 again an romantic encounter, that could be possible. So in this way you have to look. Let's say you have Venus in the 5th house, look at your house which is 7 houses away. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you will have 11th house, 7 houses away from the 5th house. Okay, so now look at the 11th house. So if you have Venus in the 5th house, you could encounter someone with at the age of 23, 35, 47, 59, 71. Okay, so that's how it works. These are the 4 principles that you have to apply in your chart, and 99% you will see that at least one of these principles will be accurate. If you already have any past relationship, you can apply this, you will find it very accurate, right? Because I have done a lot of research on many chart, and now I am sharing this technique, right? After taking a lot of feedback, even discussing with some of my colleagues right here, right, astrologer. So yeah, this is really an amazing technique, and I try to simplify it as much as I can, right? Now, of course, there are more techniques like this to find the sages, and of course, full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. But with this simple technique, you can be amazed to see that yes, it is working. But for full horoscope consultation, links are given in the description. You can purchase that. In that we combine these techniques with the dasha, antardasha, transit. Then we can find more accurate result. But you can use this, right? So now let me give you a practical example, right, of a person so that you can understand it in a best way. So there was a man who is a Taurus ascendant, 2, 3. I'm just giving you one example. There are many, but I'm giving you one example, right? Okay, so this guy was Taurus ascendant, and so our first principle is look at where Venus is placed. So his Venus is placed here in the 8th house. Okay, he have Venus in the 8th house. So as per that Venus placement, he must have met someone or get married at the age of probably 20. He must need to have a romantic encounter or get married to someone, or 32, 44, 56. So this formula was, first principle was wrong for him, right? Because he didn't met anyone at these ages, he didn't get married at these ages. Okay, so our first principle get failed for his chart. Then I asked him the second rule. Our second rule was look at where the sign of Libra is as per your ascendant. So for sign of Libra, for him falling in his 6th house. So now we will look at the 6th house age. 6th house age is 6, 18, 30, 42, 54, 66, 78. Now this principle also get failed into his chart because he didn't get married at these ages, or he didn't have any girlfriend at these ages. So our second principle also get failed for his chart. Then we apply the third principle. Then I applied my third principle. My third principle was what? Look at 7 houses away from your 7th lord placement. His 7th lord is Mars. Mars is placed in the 12th house in his chart here. So we have to look 7 houses away from its 7th lord. So his 7th lord is in the 12th house. 7 houses away from his 12th lord, which is from his 7th lord, is 6th house. His 7th lord was Mars, which is placed in the 12th house. So our principle, third principle, say look 7 houses away from your 7th lord. So 7 houses away from our 7th lord is the 6th house. So we look at the 6th house. So 6th house has the our third principle say that it must be 6th house where he could get married, or like the 6th house related age. But 6th house is already crossed. So again, third principle is also not working because he didn't get married to someone at this ages. We already checked that with the Libra. Apparently this is like the coinciding with the, like the, we can say superimposing with the Libra, but yeah. So third principle also get failed. So our 3 principles get failed for this particular man. So then I applied my 4th final principle, which is look at 7 houses away from the Venus, right? So you have to apply in this sequence, as I told you, first principle, second principle, third, fourth. This is like the sequential order. So my 4th principle was what? Look at the 7 houses away from the Venus. So 7 houses away from the Venus is 2nd house. Then we look at the 2nd house ages, which is 2, 14, 26, 38, 50, 62, 74. So then he confirmed that yes, at the age of 26, I get married. So finally, our 4th principle get applied for his chart. Okay. So this is how you have to make this system work. Let me take another example. Let me just tell you another example of someone so that you could understand how things work out. Then there is a next combination of a girl who was a Sagittarius ascendant. So if she is a Sagittarius ascendant, you can understand 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she had sign of Mercury in the 7th house. So we will apply our first principle, okay, which is that wherever Venus is placed, the person will get married at that age. So this particular girl had Venus placed in her 9th house. Okay, and where is the 9th house? We can clearly see, oh I'm sorry, it's here, Venus in the 9th house. So if we see 9th house, ages are 21, 33, 45, 57, which is not matching with her relationship or marriage. Then we will apply our second principle, because first principle, placement of Venus, get failed. So our second principle was what? Our second principle is to see the sign of Libra. So sign of Libra fall in the 11th house for this particular girl. So if we see the ages of 11th house, are 11, 23, 35, 47. So I would like to tell you, she met her boyfriend at the age of 23. Okay, this is her relationship. So this second principle worked for this particular girl. Okay, so you will see, for someone first principle work, for someone second principle work, for someone third work, for someone fourth work. In rare cases, very extreme cases, all of these principles get failed. In very less cases, in those cases we have to see some other placement like trine placement, and other principles are also there. But to keep this video simplified, I would like to keep only these 4 principles. Now I want you to guys write down in the comment section about your experiences regarding this relationship and marriage concept that I told you. Write down your questions and let's have a healthy engagement in the comment section regarding this technique. Right? If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me, and I will meet you in the next video on my channel. Till then, bye bye.